Welcome to Mount Shasta Escape. Today I'm taking you on an 80-mile ride which combines my Crags Crest loop with my Mount Eddy loop. Hope you like it. It's Monday, October 7th, 2024, and I'm heading out on a, 2 or 3 hour ride. I had my first tip over on this bike. It bent my lever, which maybe you can see there, and I just kind of shortened it up like I often do, and it's fine. And I had some hardly used handguards that I bought for my KLX 300 that didn't fit it, so I wound up replacing them with some that did. And so far so good on this bike. Put them on. And left mirror, it bent the bolt that connected it to the handlebar, but the mirror itself was fine. So I got some double take adventure bike mirrors, which are coming. I put the old mirrors back on, but I don't really like the view they give you, and it makes the bike wider, and it's just not really a good idea on a bike that you really do plan to take on dirt roads, potentially drop. Trying something a little bit different with my camera, mic. I've got a windsock over it, but then I was reading that it can help sometimes to put a balloon or the finger out of a latex glove over it. Didn't have a balloon, but I have latex gloves, so I cut a finger off and put that over the microphone. Got very nice weather today. It's going to be maybe 80 to 85 down here. It's going to be much cooler, I'm sure, up where I'm going. Haven't gotten to ride this in a while. We took our trailer to our dealer in Pendleton, Oregon, a week ago Monday. We went all the way in one day, and they did the upgrades to the trailer that we wanted on Tuesday, and we did all the way back on Wednesday. Had a brief respite on Thursday, and then on Friday it was our grandson's birthday party that Saturday, so we drove all the way to the Bay Area. Then we drove back to Mount Shasta on Sunday, and it is Monday right now. Of course, then this Wednesday I'm going in for a surgical procedure, and well, there'll be a little recovery period after that, and I'll really be happy when I'm through with all this stuff. This is the exit that takes you past Crags Crest State Park, and I'm going to take that road up and all the way around, and instead of staying on, I think it's FR 26 and heading back home just past Gumboot Lake and so forth, I will turn on to that dirt road that takes me up to the Park Creek trailhead. I call it the Mount Eddy trailhead, and go around that way. Got my face shield up. I do it a lot more on this bike. It's got better wind protection, and it's just works pretty well with the face shield up to 40 or 50 miles an hour. Now it makes me realize if I hadn't gone this route with the motorcycling and kept with a Suzuki GSX 8S, at some point I would have had to get a taller windshield on that, try it out. I think I would have liked it. Anybody watching this, I still got it, still for sale. Price on it at $6,000. And that's where it's going to stay, at least till next spring. This is kind of interesting. I got the cruise control set at 20 miles an hour. You have to be at least in third gear to use the cruise control. And that's an indicated 18 to 19 miles an hour on the Garmin. And the RPM is about 1900, 1950. And just idling along, smooth as can be. Going uphill. Temperature's down to 75 degrees, feels very nice. This is another one of those rides I just don't get tired of. Beautiful scenery, windy road. Gotta watch out though, it's narrow. Somebody come whipping around one of these corners and could take you out very easily, so gotta watch that. So they need to make a 500cc adventure bike that weighs close to 400 pounds with cruise control, with some decent wind protection. And I know there's kind of a new crop of 450s coming out. Even KTM's kind of improving their 390, but they're still not quite what I'm talking about. Something that would actually be comfortable going a few hundred miles on the street, but also be much lighter when you do get on a dirt road and a low seat height and just easy to turn around. I'm not as comfortable as I would be on the Suzuki when it comes to doing a U-turn or something like that. That's how I tipped it over a few days ago. U-turns. I was tipping my KLX over all the time on those U-turns too, and then I started practicing and got to the point where I was good with it. And I haven't really practiced much on this bike, and I need to practice. 1,500 RPM. Smoothly accelerates away. In fact, I was on a little bit of gravel when I gave it just a smooth acceleration. It even triggered the traction control a little bit. Had enough torque to do that. I sent my location to Joline via satellite, which iPhones can now do, which is kind of cool. And ready to move on again. Well, if you're on slow, windy roads and don't want to shift much, third gear is your gear. You could do everything in that. I'll bet you could in second also. Second would get you a little bit slower too, but this will get you down to 15 miles an hour. Sheesh, third gear. Well, it's time to start musing about what next for two wheels. No, I'm not thinking about getting rid of the Tiger. I think the Tiger has fixed me up for street bike and dirt bike combos for a long time. I don't know how long, but for the foreseeable future. I need to get the Suzuki sold eventually. But something that still kind of tickles my fancy a little bit would be something really small, like a Honda Monkey, maybe, where you knew you couldn't get stuck, you could always turn it around anywhere, it doesn't go very fast. Or they're making progress in all these lightweight kind of off-roady electric kind of crossover bike motorcycle things, but I'd want something that actually would be street legal. And I wouldn't want to pay the kind of money you have to pay for something like a Zero or a Harley Livewire or something like that. No, I'm not interested in those. I mean, those are real motorcycles and the range is minimal on them. I want a real motorcycle. I want to be able to go a long ways on it. Oh, by the way, here we are at the Pacific Crest Gumboot Trailhead. So I will stop for a moment and switch this thing into my rider mode, which is your customizable mode. It's either that or the off-road. At the moment, I'm liking the rider option a little better because I softened the power delivery by putting it in rain, and I turn off traction control. In the rider mode, it doesn't do anything to ABS. So compared to the off-road mode still has a fairly crisp throttle. It feels more like road throttle or something. I like a soft throttle. Switches off traction control, and I don't know that it totally switches off ABS, but at least partly switches it off, which I cannot do in their rider programmable rider mode. So as time goes on, I may decide that I want to use the off-road mode more. But for now, I'm kind of liking where I'm have this thing fixed up using the rider mode with rain, soft throttle, traction control off, and ABS is still on. Come on, I want rider. Rider, okay. Select it. Now it shows traction control off. So I'm not sure what I did before, but I'm eventually going to get to where I get it right my first time. Now, if I snap the throttle this time, I expect that rear wheel to spin. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not going to cut power with traction control. And now it's time to stand up for a little while. And this thing has a good standing position. I have a video that I think I'll already have out there before I get to doing this one where I ride up this. But at that time, I didn't have the riding modes figured out, and I had traction control on, so the motor was kind of stuttering a lot every time I got on anything slightly bumpy where it was cutting power. And now it's doing just what I wanted to do. It is behaving itself. Now again, I've got the ABS still on. There's a lake down there, I forget what its name is, but I've never actually gone to that lake. I've seen it from this road many times. It's kind of your typical little mountain lake up here, though. Reminds me a lot of gumboot, or upper gumboot for that matter. It looks like kind of in between the two of them in size. Come on, move. There's sort of a little chipmunk thing right in the middle of the road, and he had a hole dug right in the middle of the road, so he just ducked down that hole before I got there. Yeah, I didn't quite know where the horn was. I meant to honk it, but that's the first time I've tried to honk the horn on this. So I took the rubber inserts out of the foot pegs, and I could feel just a little bit of vibration through them. Now I've got riding boots on with a fairly thick sole. I don't think it's going to be enough to bother me, but if it was, it's real easy to put them in and out. And for the way I think I'm going to be riding, I don't really know that it makes any difference for this OHV stuff, whether I have them in or out. And I got to say, on a dirt road, even a fairly easy one like this, standing up is the preferred way to do things. It just feels a lot better. And that was another deal with the GSX-8S. I actually put some bar risers on it and tried that, but there was just no way to really make that feel like a even somewhat OHV dirt bike sort of riding position. Tried it and said, okay, I give up on that. You can still stand on it with the bars in their stock position, but it kind of punches you forward a little bit, which is, yeah, I mean, it was okay for control and so forth and on a rough road, but it's not very comfortable if you plan on standing for any length of time. Back when I used to do really long, all-day dirt bike rides on challenging terrain, mainly when I was doing the Colorado 500 dirt bike ride, but I would stand up all day long. I wouldn't sit. Because of that, I never really had to change out the super hard seats that almost all dirt bikes have, because I didn't sit on them much. I stood. And if you did have to sit for, you know, a few minutes, 5 minutes or something, it's no big deal. They were fine for that. If you're going to ride one of those, you know, your KTM 500 EXC or your Honda 450 or something like that, and you're going to do an all-day ride, you thought you're going to be sitting a lot, you would want to put a better seat on them. And I think most people that do that put a better seat on them. And I've already kind of decided I'm not going to do that kind of riding, so I'm not going to go looking for a bike like that. But if I did, I would have to sit more than I used to. I can't stand up as much as I used to. And I would have to change the seats on them. I can't see if anybody is behind me when I'm standing up. Can't see in my mirrors. So by sitting down for a second, I make sure that, yeah, there's no fast guy trying to ride up my backside. So I just noticed a sign there. We're on 40N45. So I think this would be referred to as Forest Route 45. When I make it up to this Mount Eddy trailhead, I will send another location to Joline. Don't get a cell signal on a lot of this, so that way she can keep track of me. I would have brought my inReach with me, but I left it on and ran the battery down, so it's charging now. If I have that, it'll send a location every 10 minutes automatically. Seems like I read somewhere they may add that feature into the iPhone someday. Boy, I hope so. That'd be nice. I'm such an awesome rider, I know that I'll never crash or get in trouble. But just in case, let's get real now. I like her to have some idea where I am so she could direct the search parties in the right area. I don't think I'm ever going to get tired of riding on roads like this in this area. As long as I'm able to do it, I will. Awesome scenery. A fairly easy dirt road, which I'm good with that nowadays. But just look at this. That is amazing. Gotta stop a moment just to have a chance to show this. I mean, look at those mountain peaks out there. And back to pavement, and that Mount Eddy trailhead is just a very short ways up here. And now I'm on Forest Route 17. I really don't know why the lawyers do this, but I don't think I can change out of rider mode while I'm moving. Nope, I can't. The Deadfall Meadow trailhead. You know, my throttle response is still on rain, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Coming down this twisty road, I just might put it in rain mode. And I'm to the trailhead. Parks Creek, yeah, I always say, oh yeah, that's what it is, but I never remember till I see it again. Next thing I'm doing is get a drink of water and also send my location to Joline again. I think I'll put the side stand down while I'm doing all this. And turn this off for a minute. Okay, I learned a little bit new. I can't share my location via satellite because I got a cell signal here, so there's no reason to. So if she doesn't find me, she knows where I am.